Hello guys, what's up? I'm engineer AK, and in today's lecture we are going to solve the third sample problem of chapter 2, force system. So let's start. So in question it is given that 500 Newton force is applied to the vertical pole. So here this is the 500 force, and this is the pole, and it is applied here. This force is applied here. So shown shown in this figure, right? So write F in the term of unit vectors I and j. So in first what we have to do, that we have to find the unit vectors and represent this force in terms of I and j, and both its vector and scalar components. Now in second we have to determine the scalar component of force, right? We have to find the scalar components. We have to find the f of x and the f of y. Force along the x dash and y dash direction. So here it is given that here it is y dash and here it is x dash, and these are the x and the y axis, right? So we have to find in this direction the components, and at last we have to find the scalar component of the force along x and y dash. In this okay, let me change the color. So at last we have to find the forces in this and in this direction. Here we go, in this direction. So now we are just given with this force. So if I let me make one thing first clear here. As you can see that this is the x dash and this is the y dash, and it is perpendicular to each other, right? So it is making an angle of 90 degree. So here it is given that this portion it is 30 degree. So if this is 30, so this will be 60, right? And combined it will form the 90 degree. Now if we move further, so here I have shown you that how this angle was 60, how this angle comes out to be 60 degree. So here I have made two components, right? This is that force 500 Newton, and this is the one component, and this is the another component, and this is angle. So if f of x and this angle is with this axis, so f of x will be equal to f of cos of theta, right? And this will be f of sine of theta, but the force it is positive y-axis and the force is acting downward, so it will be minus f of sine theta, and the angle here is 60 degree. So now just we have to plug in the values and we will see that what will be the answer. So let me plug in the values. So 500 cos of 60, so it's 250 Newton. 250 Newton. Okay, let me write here I, because we want to find it in terms of unit vector I and j. And if and this second one is minus, right? Here it is minus because it is acting downward. Let me write here as minus as well. So minus, and instead of cos it will be sine. So we get minus 433, right? So minus 433 j and Newton. So if I write it in order, so it will be 250 I minus 433 j. So this is the first part. We have find the unit vectors in terms of I and j, and we have find this force, right? Now in second, what we have to do, that finding the scalar component f of x and f of y in the x dash and y dash axis. Okay, so if we see here, So in question it was given, if I go to question, here you can see that this is the x dash and this is the y dash. So this force is acting in this direction, the x dash direction, right? And there is no force in this direction. If this force, for example, if the force, let's suppose if I say the force is here, then what you will do that this is not either in this direction and not in this, so then you will make its component like this. One component will be like in this direction and the other component will be like in this direction, and then you will solve it. But here it is already in this x dash direction, so no need to find the component, and there is no force in this direction. So if now we move down, so here that what I was saying, that in the x direction, x dash direction, it is 500 Newton, right? And it is the positive, and in this direction it will be the minus x dash, right? And similarly, if this is positive y dash, so here it in this direction it will be minus y dash, right? And there is no force in the f of y dash direction, so 0 Newton, right? So now we also solve the second part. We have find in x dash and y dash axis, we have find the components, the scalar components here. Now in third, they ask that find the scalar component f of x and f of y of force vector in x and y dash. X and y dash mean in this we have to find in this is the x, right? And this is the y dash. So now we have to find the component in these two directions. Here the see x and y dash, right? So now let's move down. So here you can see that how this parallelogram is made. So the force was in this direction, right? And this is the we studied the parallelogram law in the first lecture of chapter 1. So if I move it here and if I move it here and then I move like this to this fy dash, I draw a parallel line here, and to this f of x I draw a parallel line here. You can see that this line and this line are parallel, and this line and this line are parallel, so it is making a parallelogram. And we have already find that how this angle comes out to be 60 degree, right? And how this angle is 30. So in previous lecture I have already told you that if this angle we in question this angle was 30, right? So if this is 30 angle, so the angle on the opposite side of this line, it will also be 30, right? Mean if this line is now 60, so here the angle will also be 60. If for example if there is any kind of line like here or any kind, so this will also be 60, right? And how this comes out to be 90, because in triangle you know that the total angle is 180, so 60 plus 30 and plus 90, so it comes out to be 180. So here what I have do that I have used the sine law, right? I have applied the sine law. So f of x, this is the f of x. Let me change the color. So this is the f of x, and in front of it this is angle. So f of x divided by sine 90, and then this is f, or you can say that this is that 500 Newton force, and in front of it there is this angle divided by sine 30, right? So I have just written here. And if I talk about this one fy dash, this one, so this is fy dash, and in front of it it is 60 degree, so I have written as fy dash and sine 60 degree. And similarly this is f, and in front of it it is 30 degree, so here I have written 500 divided by sine 30 degree, right? So here it is in divide, right? Here sine 90 is in division, so when it move here, so it will be multiply here, right? And similarly sine 60 here is in division, and if I move it to the opposite side of the equal sign, so it will comes in multiplication, right? Now let's plug in the value and see what and we will find the required answer, right? F of x and f of y dash. So let's plug in these values in calculator. So for the first, so it's and yeah, one thing more I have to mention, that this is positive y dash axis and this is in negative y x direction, negative y dash direction. So I here will be a negative sign as well, minus. Okay, so now if I plug in the values, so 500 divided by sine 30, right, multiply by sine 90, so we get 1000 Newton, right? So it is equal to 1000 Newton. And now if I plug in the second portion, so minus, right, 500 divided by sine 500 divided by sine 30 and multiply by sine 60, so we get minus 866 Newton, minus 866 Newton. So finally we have find the f of x and f of y dash. So that's how you can solve this kind of problem. So thanks for watching and see you in next video.